Welcome back to Classic Firearms. I'm Brandon, and this is a CMMG Dissent, specifically in 8.6. Now, it's a 12.5-inch barrel chambered in that brand new 8.6 Blackout. And what makes that caliber special, actually, let me grab one for you. Give me 1 second. And I'm back, it's a .338 Lapua projectile in a shorter casing. Now, you also are going to have a 220 round magazines that do come in the box with this particular one, and the whole platform is about the size of an AR and about the weight of an AR. So instead of necessarily having to have something like this Barrett MRAD, for example, to shoot, you have something that is much, much smaller and lighter. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna put this back up. All right, that's enough about 8.6. Let's talk about the CMMG Dissent and what they are giving you for that under $2,000 price point. Set mood lighting in 3, 2, and we're back in. So, like I said, starting with the tip, you have a muzzle brake up front and a 12.5-inch barrel. What's actually really cool about that is if you go down to an 8-inch barrel version, which I think they were coming out with soon, you actually can get a very good velocity out of even an 8-inch barrel with a projectile, again, that is massive. So really, really cool overall. This barrel in particular is a 1-in-3 twist rate. And as you can see, you also have a full Picatinny rail up top. So you can mount a red dot and magnifier if you want, or a full scope on here if you want to go out to range, 500 plus yards, something like that. So you do have options. And as you'll notice, unlike an AR-15 or even an AR-10, there is no buffer tube. That whole mechanism is, of course, encased right up in here in springs, and your, of course, bolt carrier group still performing as you might expect, although cleaning it's just gonna be a little bit different. Something that's also interesting, it is a DI gun. I don't know if you can see that gas tube in there. Let me see if I can't get you an angle of that anywhere in there, but that does mean you have a gas blowback system, and of course, that charging handle on the left side. Now, that's not necessarily something to a DI gun, but it is interesting about the Dissent. So CMMG gave you a left-hand charging handle that can be reversed and put into the other side if you so wish. So lefties or righties, you can choose which one you want. And of course, that bolt release, you can push that closed and that charging handle will go home, as well as your bolt carrier group. Moving on, you do have right side and left side, so ambi mag releases. Boom, there it goes, and it comes out. I canted it so the mag wouldn't go flying, but that is something that is going to be nice. Again, lefty or righty, you can shoot this one pretty well. But the bolt release is only on one side, so that will be something you have to muscle memory. Moving down a little bit farther and back, you do have that ambi safety as well. So that safety selector is going to be on either side of the firearm, which will, of course, help that lefty or righty. So again, another ambi feature, but the safety selector on this is also just nice. It's got a really good grip texturing to it. It's almost like a chevron kind of texturing to it right here. I don't know how well you can see that, but it is very grippy and very easy to catch and use with your thumb or your index finger, or in reverse in case you do want to do it that way as well. Moving down, of course, a little bit farther to the grip portion, you have a moderately aggressively textured grip on all sides. It's a good grip overall. It feels, it's got a really good angle to it, which is nice, but it's not superly or overly aggressive. It also has a little compartment down below that you can open it up. It's on a hinge, so you're not gonna lose that if you just, boom, pop that off. You're in the middle of a field somewhere, it's not gonna go flying. It is attached to the grip, and then of course you can use that to hold lube or whatever it is that you want. It'll fit in there nicely. There is a little bit of an insert there too that'll help keep things from thrashing around, depending on exactly what size lube or Skittles you decide to put in there. I would guess that Skittles are still gonna rattle and turn this thing into a shaker, like a baby shaker. You're also gonna get a 1913 pick rail on the back, so it's your choice what stock you wanna put on that, or brace you wanna put on that. If you're gonna SBR it, of course stock. If you're gonna keep it as a pistol, then of course you gotta have to put a brace on there. But it's your choice as to what you want to do. So that also is something very nice. Now, another thing, because this is going to be an 8.6 Blackout, which is a relatively new caliber, you are going to get an adjustable gas block on most, if not all, of the CMMG Dissents that you decide to buy, or whichever one you decide to buy. The reason for that, of course, you can adjust it to whatever ammo you're shooting, or what, however you want to do it. You want to run it suppressed, you want to run it non-suppressed, you want to keep the brake on there, put something special. That's up to you. You can adjust that to your pleasure. So as you can see, we clear every gun before we ever film a video, but that trigger pull, it on safe, of course, so I gotta take that off of safe, duh. Okay, that's actually a lot lighter than I thought. I was expecting a little bit of travel. There's none. That travel is the boom. So watch, I'm pushing, I'm at maybe like 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds, boom, right about 3 pounds I would say that trigger is. And then that reset is also, it kind of, there's a little bit of travel there. And you can hear it very clear, very crisp, very tactile, and then boom. There is no movement between the reset and the actual pull of the trigger itself. It barely moves at all in general. That is a very good trigger. And that means you're gonna be able to put a lot of 8.6 downrange very quickly. So, moving on. Now let's recap everything that we actually talked about. So, in review, this firearm, the CMMG Dissent, is chambered in, this particular CMMG Dissent is chambered in 8.6 Blackout. You have a 12.5 inch barrel with a 1 in 3 twist rate. That is maximum twisting while inside your target, whether that's a brick or a door, depends on what you want to shoot, or other things, which I won't mention on YouTube. The barrel itself has a nitride finish on it as well, so I didn't mention that before. Want to make sure to catch it in the review. The muzzle thread is a 5.8 by 24, and of course this is in pistol configuration. There are other configurations if you wish to buy those as well. The upper on this is the CMMG Mark III Dissent upper, which is going to be 7075 T6 aluminum. And then of course you also have that 11-inch proprietary handguard from CMMG that is made out of aluminum as well. As I mentioned before, you have a reversible charging handle. It's actually a drop-in trigger and of course a pistol grip that you can swap out if you wanted something more to your preference. That's up to you. And the trigger guard is integrated. It does weigh 7.3 pounds and is 23 inches long in its entirety. Not to mention, you also get a second, 2 PMags in the box with this rifle, any of this particular CMMG that you're going to get. So with that being said, that's all I have for you guys today. If you have any experiences with the CMMG Dissent or 8.6 Blackout as a whole, please leave a review down below. We would love to see your comments. And that's pretty much everything. So God bless, stay safe. It is time to end. Now I'm gonna go shoot this thing.